I'm not gonna lie, I can't really see very well with this mask on, but as is tradition, when we do the Halloween stream, we do it in costume because I'm committed to the bit. Bitcoin, $70,000, right? Pretty awesome. So I feel like, you know, everyone should be pretty fucking stoked. Things are looking pretty decent. Now, we are at, you know, an interesting spot in the market because we are kind of at the range highs. We're into resistance, and I do believe that the spot discount has now returned about 30, 40 bucks now, because I think a lot of people probably today, they saw Bitcoin hit 70K and they just aped into longs on leverage. So we've traded all the way to July's high. So again, every time I've talked about Bitcoin within this range, especially when we've been at the range low, I've been super consistent that we have been bullish. I'm bullish at the range lows. I'm looking for reasons to be long. I'm not selling any of my spot. I'm bullish, bullish, bullish. On the leverage side, I've taken trades in both directions. Like, that's just what it is. Trading is trading. Like, you're going to see a lot of people on Twitter today and over the last few days, you know, they're like, oh my God, we're so close to all-time high. Like, oh, we're 70K. All-time high is only this far away. Where were all those people down here? Right? Where were all those people when we're at the range lows? Your boy Spider Mayne remained steadfastly bullish at the range lows, telling you I'm still bullish to all-time high. Regardless of what price is doing in this range, I believe we are going to all-time highs before the end of the year. It's just a matter of trading in between is just a form to make more money. It's not because I think we're going to zero that I take a short, or I'm longing because I expect that long to be the one that takes us to all-time high. That's what my spot bags are for. My day trading is exactly that. It's just day trading. What I'm looking at now, let me just bring back up TradingView here, right, is okay, we've taken out last quarter's high. We've swept the equal highs at 70K here. So there might be a chance that we get some sort of little pullback. I'm not saying we're going to zero, but I am open to the possibility of some sort of small correction, especially seeing a bunch of people pile into leverage on the 70K clip. I posted this earlier today, and I believe it to be true. The most bullish scenario for the entire market is Bitcoin making a substantially higher all-time high. So I'm not talking a little piddly move to 75K. I'm talking Bitcoin trades into the 80, 90K range, maybe even higher, and it establishes there. Because what is going to happen is once Bitcoin takes that next leg up and then consolidates, what I believe is going to occur next is we'll see BTC dominance actually trail down. When that happens, so I believe it means God candle on Bitcoin, BTC dominance down. That's when your alt BTC pairs are likely going to bottom, and we're going to see real craziness across altcoins in general, not just these kind of secular pumps where it's like, okay, AI meme coins are going. Now it's the animal meme coins. Now it's this coin. I believe once we get that next God candle on BTC and then BTC establishes a range, that's when Ethereum, Solana, and those majors, those go to all-time highs, and all those other associated altcoins go to all-time highs, not all-time highs necessarily, but go crazy as well. Like, I still think something like TIA, right? And I know this is my fucking cursed coin that's done me nothing but harm and pain, and I've lost a bunch of money on it. I've talked about this, right? The selling is slowing down, right? The selling is slowing down. So if Bitcoin puts in a God candle, TIA BTC, in my opinion, does one of these, and then it reclaims. That's going to be your signal to start rotating out of Bitcoin into altcoins. But I don't think that time has come yet. I know a lot of people have been telling you alt, but for the most part, outside of a couple of meme coins, a lot of altcoins are underperforming Bitcoin. Just full stop. Right? Like, there's people who are telling you the hat is staying on, WIF has been getting outperformed by Bitcoin since March, right? Since March, WIF is down 50% relative to Bitcoin. It doesn't mean it can't go up. It doesn't mean it won't go up again. But I think the time to rotate, if you're in Bitcoin, from Bitcoin into altcoins, is when Bitcoin makes that next God candle, Bitcoin dominance trails off, and we see that kind of one last mean reversion, turbo spike down, then reclaim on alt BTC pairs. It's Spider-Mayne, not Spider-Man. All right. So I believe that is what we're waiting for, right? We want to see that turbo down move on alt BTC pairs, that turbo up move on Bitcoin, the fall off of BTC dominance. And that's going to be the time for you to pile into altcoins here. right? So I've talked about this zone on BTC dominance. I still think we're just trading up there. And a God candle on Bitcoin is what's going to send this thing up to here, in my opinion. That's kind of my thought process. I'm a Bitcoin bull here. I like Bitcoin more than I like altcoins. I know Ethereum, by people including me, has been getting just shit on relentlessly, but I do believe that Ethereum, BTC, it's coming into monthly demand here, right? So I believe that we're going to get a similar thing to what I just showed on TIA. Ethereum is going to underperform. It's going to underperform, and it's going to continue to underperform. And then what we need to see is that turbo reversion, right? So that down move and then a reclaim of some sorts. And then that's going to be what's needed to put a bottom in on Ethereum and have a period of Ethereum outperformance. I don't think Ethereum BTC makes new all-time highs. I don't think that at all. But I do think that there is going to be a period of time in the not so distant future where this has a bit of an uptrend. And there's going to be a period of time where Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin, just like last cycle here in May of 2021, right? So this is when Bitcoin topped. It was right here. Bitcoin topped here. Ethereum did this. And while Ethereum BTC did this, what happened? Ethereum USD doubled, right? It doubled. So that's kind of a similar setup that I'm looking to play on Bitcoin and then rotating into those altcoins. So obviously, if you got into GOAT, you're crushing it. There's lots of meme coins that have gone up. There's outliers like PopCap, for example, extremely fucking strong, looks really fucking good. So there's lots of altcoins that have outperformed, but the vast majority are still underperforming Bitcoin. You can look at a lot of these altcoins that were super strong in January. Everyone was bullish on them, right? And they're getting shit kicked since then. You want to wait, in my opinion, for Bitcoin to put in that God candle. That's going to be the trigger, for me at least, to potentially rotate some Bitcoin profits into some altcoins, but not before. I think the best thing for the market is a new all-time high on Bitcoin. So looking at Bitcoin specifically here, I don't see a reason to be super bearish. We are in weekly resistance, right? So this is still weekly resistance, technically. We just took out July's high, which is the last quarter high. So if you're in leverage from down here, I don't think this is a bad area to de-risk some of those perps positions. And I don't think this is an area to open up fresh longs on Bitcoin, personally. I think if you're long from lower, great. I don't see this as a bad TP area, at least for some, but I 100% don't think that this is where you long Bitcoin. I think you either wait for some sort of pullback here or you wait for some sort of large move up. This becomes a weekly order block and then you get in. So what do I mean by that? A lot of people probably longed this move here, right? When we broke this high, everyone on Twitter was like, I'm longing Bitcoin. It's going way fucking higher. And then it pulled back. Where did it pull back to? The weekly order block. Busted out again. Oh my God, I better long. Pulls back the next week. Where does it pull back to? The weekly order block. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the breakout and we're going to have a large move to the upside. I am 100% bidding the weekly order block. So if we get this candle and it does this, I'm hoping that we get a candle like this before continuation. And that's the one I would bid for new perp positions. But for now, I do think we're into resistance still. We're at the range highs. We just took out a significant high. So I think this is an area where you watch. Again, I don't think there's any reason to short here. I think if you wanted to short, you would need to see some sort of clear and obvious rejection. Yes, we technically got a sweep here. Technically. Barely though. But if I saw like, some sort of actual rejection where it like does this, and then it deviates and it loses like this level. That, to me, I might be interested in shorting because that might have some legs to the downside. And maybe we go down to here or something like that. But barring that, I think your best bet is to just sit on your hands and fucking be patient. I don't think that there's a clear long trigger right here. And I absolutely don't think that there's a clear short trigger here either. Just imagine, when like guys tell you, they're like, listen, dude, approach the girl. The worst thing she can say is no. And then you go and approach her. And instead of saying no, she says like, get away from me, you ugly fuck. And you're like, that's way meaner than no. But something along those lines, that's what you want to be looking for here if you were going to short. But I don't want to fill you guys with bearish propaganda because I don't think it's necessary. But for the time being, I think your best bet, if you're not positioned already, is to wait. right? You don't want to long the breakout. Usually longing the breakout, you get burned and you end up getting shooken out before the actual move, right? So it's like here. Like that, you see this all the time, right? Bitcoin looks like it's breaking out, and then if you would have just waited, you get a much better entry. Same thing like down here. Bitcoin's breaking out. Oh my God, I better long, and then you would have got a way better entry if you were just a little bit more patient. And this works on the downside too, right? So when price is selling off, you know, people will jump into the sell-off, and then you end up getting a retrace that would have been a better entry. So I think it's going to be a very interesting week. I'm definitely going to be paying very close attention to the charts. I think we're going to have a lot of volatility. It's all very, very exciting. I do still believe we're going to see money flow into altcoins that aren't just meme coins. I think it's very clear that this has been a meme coin dominated cycle, but I still do believe there are a lot of projects that are going to catch a bid, but Bitcoin needs to stop dominating before that happens. And I do think that that's going to take that God candle to happen first, and then we will see that rotation into other altcoins. I think the meme coin environment, specifically on Solana, has been unbelievably PvP. I think it's very obvious that there are insiders, people with influence who are picking and trying to push coins that they're obviously in. My advice would be, not financial, of course, because Mayne is not a financial advisor, would be never buy the beta, right? Like anytime Ethereum goes up, people are like, what are the ETH betas? Their SOL goes up. Like, buy strength, in my opinion. And that's true for memes as well. Like, if GOAT was the strong meme, just buy that rather than buying the fucking derivative of it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, 70K is awesome. I do think we go much higher. I don't have a trade idea for you guys here right now, like, if I'm being honest. I think I've got to wait. I've got to see a few more candles before I have a clear read on where I think price can go. Like, so potentially on the day trade front, we get some sort of Monday's range play. Like, that would be the only thing I'd be watching, like a fade or a fade. That's the only kind of day trade I see here right now. Otherwise, I've got to wait, and I need a little bit more price development. I need a little bit more clues as to whether we're going to just rip a lot higher and put in a $2,000 or $3,000 candle, smash out of this range, or if we're going to get a bit of a pullback and consolidate a little longer first. BTC at 0.36? No, I don't think yet. Like, to me, this doesn't bottom until BTC puts in the God candle. So a really good way to exemplify this is here. Bitcoin topped. This is February, March, April. Okay. Look where Ethereum was in February, March, and April. Here, Bitcoin topped, right? Then when did ETH BTC bottom? In March. So ETH BTC bottomed. I mean, it bottomed a little bit before, but like it didn't start its breakout until Bitcoin was consolidating after making a new all-time high. So this is when Bitcoin topped on ETH BTC. This is when it topped on ETH USD. And then what happened? ETH doubled after. So buying ETH BTC now is you're trying to time this. When in my opinion, a much safer buy is once Bitcoin is doing this after making a fresh all-time high, right? So look from here to here. Bitcoin went from 31 to 60. In the month of February, Bitcoin doubled. 31 to 60, okay? Ethereum, BTC, nuked during that time. And then after Bitcoin topped, here's February, right? Bitcoin doubled during this. Ethereum did nothing. But then once Bitcoin topped, Ethereum fucking ripped. That's the kind of shit I'm looking for on Ethereum. Now, another example for this, and a much more interesting one probably, is like Solana, but it works the exact same way. Like Solana BTC, the question here is this going to break out along with Bitcoin, or is there a good chance that if Bitcoin puts in a God candle, this continues to go sideways, maybe even pulls back? But once Bitcoin tops, this will rip. How high, I don't know, obviously, but that's the kind of shit I'm personally waiting for. So looking at Ethereum, like I think Ethereum does look like, I know everyone's hating on Ethereum, and I do think Ethereum's likely going to underperform still, but I like Ethereum at the range lows. Like, it's hard for me to be bearish down here. Now, can we come down here again? Sure. But I think there's a very good chance that Ethereum doesn't really go below 2K again. And if it does, it's very quick. And I like it at the range lows. Like, to me, this eventually trades here. It's probably going to happen after Bitcoin already makes a fresh all-time high, and Ethereum's going to underperform it, and everyone's going to make fun. But I still believe that Ethereum is going to trade above 4K, and it's going to trade to the other side of this range. Solana is just much stronger, right? So we have a very similar setup here. I actually took a long on Solana. If you guys remember down here, right? But that was just off the mid-range. Very similar though, right? It's a lot stronger. Now, I've seen a few people, they're shorting Solana here or looking to get short because they think it's going to come back down to here. I don't know about that. I think this seems like good support now here, like that's formed. You've got the mid-range and you've got a weekly order block there. So I think the likelihood of us trading all the way back to the range lows is quite low. However, I do think if you get a move into here, it's fucking absolutely a long. And if for some crazy reason we get like a crazy pullback and it does come down here, I don't think it will, but anything can happen. I think as close to $100 as you can get, you load up the fucking truck on Solana. But I don't really see that. Bitcoin would have to trade back to like lower than 60K for us to come back down here. So your thesis for Solana coming all the way back down here would have to be Bitcoin remaining in the range and trading all the way back to the range low. Can it happen? Of course. I'm not on that team personally, but you know, anything can happen. So I'm much more interested in a potential, you know, retest here if we get it on Solana. The dollar has continued to be super fucking strong. It took out this high. So I'm hoping we get a bit of a pullback now on the dollar, right? So we took out this high. I'm hoping the dollar pulls back at least into here, into the mid-range, maybe even lower. So that's why I longed Euro USD because it's basically the inverse of this chart. We ran the low here. This is due for some sort of bounce after all of this selling for the past, you know, month. Just like the dollar is due for a bit of a pullback after all of this, you know, movement up. You can see these charts are basically an inverse of each other. Who else is doing it like me? Who else is doing it like Mayne? What if I put my glasses on? Will it be easier? Oh no. Spider-Man. You've been muted for 30 minutes for being retarded. I don't want to hear it. Hello, Spider-Man. I'm on ketamine. Okay, Spider-Man just shorted. Nuke it to zero. Spooder-Man. Exactly. Fuck it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. This mask is like, it's like infecting my brain. I imagine I'm inhaling some fucking plastic shit from God knows where that I shouldn't be. So when I'm in the hospital dying of fucking mesothelioma, you guys better fucking donate to my GoFundMe. Your thoughts on maple syrup? I mean, it's delicious. Very sticky though. You guys want me to remove the mask? I'm nothing without the mask. You know that. How are we doing here? Should I short more? You fucking assholes. You guys are nuts. You're gonna get me liquidated. Buy some accounts, motherfuckers. Spider-Man said so. If you don't buy a breakout fucking account right now, I'm coming to your house and I'm fucking shooting webs on you in your bed. That sounds gross. I'm 34 years old and I'm dressed up to do a live stream. This is why I'm the #1 crypto fucking live streamer in the goddamn space, and I don't want to hear otherwise. All these other people can suck my fucking dick. I don't know what you want to fucking do with your money. Do I look like a professional? What the fuck kind of question is that? Am I the professional? Are you the retard? I'm wearing a Spider-Man mask. It's not even Halloween yet, and I'm in my 30s. What about this is professional? I know this is a ginormous box. I don't fucking care. Your mom's box is ginormous too. That might have been a mistake. Whoever peer pressured me into shorting on stream is a fucking asshole. And that's why you should use my ref link, because don't you want Spider-Man to be able to afford the rest of his spider suit? Oh, this is FTX. Oh my God. How did I end up here? Not again.